Hi, guys. Good evening. Welcome to our Wednesday night study tonight. I pray everyone is having a good day today. We are in the book of Genesis. Um, who do we have here? We have Daniel. Welcome. Deacon Carey, Jacob, Haritas. Hey, Harlan. How are you? Tori, Hilda, Pastor Toby. Pray everyone is doing well. Marty, Bob, welcome, guys. Welcome to our Wednesday night study. Um, Glad we are back. We just got back from California. Went out there for about a week, for one day, for a day to pick up some stuff, and we came back and came safely. And um, we're headed to the house. Okay, you guys going home? So, I put a comment on Facebook this morning about just really just looking at the Word of God, and just after I got done reading, I started thinking about God's provision. And we talk about openness theology, and we talked about how God is able to unfold things, and how He's able to look ahead, and then react to everything that is going on. Hey Stan, how are you? Sandy, welcome. And we see God's provision, how He's able to look ahead, assess something, and then come back and be able, in that quick processing speed, be able to deal with or control all the things that are going on, with you in your life. I also was sitting there. Hey, Harris's. I was thinking, when we look at the principle of the Lord, or the things of God and what He knows, I was thinking about online players, those guys who are online, the multiplayer online, and how everyone's got a controller in front of them, and there are processors, computers on the other end, whether it could be EA Sports or whatever, Activision, or whatever the game production company is, and what happens is you're playing a game and someone else is playing a game, and thousands of people are playing a game, just like, say for example, Fortnite or Roblox, and these multiverses, all these societies, all these units are going on at the same time, and yet this computer that is controlling Roblox is able to deal with the controls. Yeah, you guys keep the controls. It's able to react to the things that you're going to tell it to do. It knows exactly where you're going. It's already building everything up. It also it's all these things that you think of when you think of computers. And I thought, if we think that this is not that, it's not that difficult to know, how the program works. It's not too difficult to conceive that this is happening. Thousands of people playing the same game, and the computer being all able to react. That's right, all the different inputs, all the different players, all the different scenes, just think about it. I'm just giving you a moment to just think about all this stuff that's going on, and all the reactions of the computer program that's reacting to what you're doing, and etc. And it's just all that stuff that's happening. And then imagine, all that. It makes you really say, wow, this is not unfathomable because it's a computer. But when you think about God, who's like greater than any computer, any program, anything, how God is able to already see ahead and react, and then come back and tell us, and then be able to react to what is going on. Okay, so I think of the how remarkable that is, and here's really what set me off. Is I was reading in 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians chapter 13. I'm reading on Paul, and I was telling the Corinthians of how he's what's going on in his life, and how God, he boasts in the Lord and all these things. And And then my mind went to yesterday. We were on our way back from California. We left Sunday night after church, and we went there for a day. We're coming back on Tuesday at morning, afternoon. We're coming back. I had to go pick up some more statues from California, and on my way back, we had a trailer, my trailer in the back, two-wheel trailer, and we're driving down the road. We get past Fontana. We're getting to Redlands, and the tire blew, poof, and started shredding, and just the tire just. Thank you, honey. There you go. Not that it helps. It's decaf coffee, so. But the tire blew, and we pulled off the exit of Redlands. We pulled into the left, and there was a Harbor Freight, and I was like, okay, that's cool. There's a Harbor Freight there, and then I was like, okay, Suzanne, take a look and see if there's some kind of tire places. I mean, we were already out of town, about to hit into, Palm Desert area, and so she looks, and there's like 4 or 5 tire places right on that street that we pulled off in. 4 of them, okay? There was like Parizos, Minos, Bowman Tire, and CC's, okay? And one other one, JJ, we didn't even know they were there. So I know there are 5 of them right there on Bowman. And I thought, God, you're so good. We were just like, God is so good. We're like, so we started looking around. We called all these places. One had my size. One almost had the size. And the one that had my size was about 4 miles away. But the one that was just a little bit bigger, like a 225 instead of 205, I was like, that'll work, was less than a quarter mile. And we're driving down the road, and we call these guys up. They're like, yeah, we're here. And I didn't even have to take the tire. The tire's kind of like blah, 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 blah. And Suzanne's like, oh, that tire is about to go. And there is right there, like quarter mile, is what do you call it? Okay, there you go. Can you call up Suzanne? Can you call up Matthew? So it's like right there, and there is what do you call it? And let me know if you need anything. Right there, I mean, right there is the tire, the tire place, and the guy's like, and I just pulled it in with the flat tire trailer. He pumped up the tire, rebent my whole wheel well, that was bent it, put a brand new tire, valve stem, everything. $60 later, like 15-20 minutes later, we're right back out on the road, and driving back to Phoenix. I mean, it was like, so I thought about that. I'm like, man, it's like how God just kind of said, all right, he kind of said, okay, Mike, this tire is about to go. It's had it, but I'm going to let it go right now. So, I mean, he let it go. He's like, I'm going to let it go right now. And boom, he let it go right at where the tire place was. So it was inevitable. It was going to happen. Now, could God have kept the tire all the way till we came to Phoenix? Absolutely could have. And then we could have pulled the car in, and I would not have known about that tire, and the tire would have been great and all that. I would have been like, praise God. I would have praised him anyway. But would I be able to share this testimony with you of how good God is now? How something like that blew, and it was right there. Now I have a good tire, and I won't have to worry about that. And it was able, I mean, it's like, praise the Lord. I mean, thank God it didn't happen at like Desert Center or a place, from like right between Blythe and Palm Springs. There's like this no man's land right by like Jericho Summit to wherever. It's like no man's land. But praise the Lord. We made it, and I thought about, again, God just being able to act and react to the things that are already happening. That just happened. They just happened, and he's able. And it really makes me pray, like, God, you know everything about us. You know all the things. You are the greatest chess player ever. You can, deal and move and do what you need to do. Glory be to God. He is an awesome God. I thought I'd share that and just thank God for his grace and his mercy. It's really just shows us how much God blesses us. The world doesn't know that. The world is very has no hope. when you go through things like that, the world has no hope. Today I was reading an article, and there's this lady, the teenager. I guess she's the one who filmed George Floyd's death on the computer or on her phone, and she was filming the George Floyd with the police officers. Well, her uncle got somehow not so much involved, but he was collateral. What happened was the Minneapolis Police Department was chasing after a carjacker who had carjacked a car, had done some robberies and was stealing things, and they were chasing him, through the streets or wherever in Minneapolis. And this girl's uncle, I don't know whether he didn't see the car or whatever happened, and collided with the police officers, and died. It's a sad thing, I mean, it happens. I've heard people, with fire trucks on the way to fire, or ambulances and cars not seeing the fire thing or whatever it is, or police not seeing this guy, and just boom, and they hit him, or he's coming out and suddenly he's so fast. I mean, you're talking about high speed chases, and this guy dies. Well, that's a sad part. That's very tragic. I mean, for something like that to happen. But this person, what was really bad and what really left a bad taste in my mouth is this girl who was filming, with the George Floyd's issue. She came out and she said things like, my uncle died today, got in a tragic accident. I can't believe it. The Minneapolis police killed another black man. This has got to stop. Another black man killed under the hands of the Minneapolis police. Hey, John, how are you, brother? And as I read that, I thought, this is ridiculous. Really? A black man getting killed by the Minneapolis police? Like, she didn't say, my uncle died. He got an accident with the police department. No, she made it as if the Minneapolis police killed her uncle. And she said another black man killed by the Minneapolis police. And this type of stuff just really irks me. I mean, this is, and how it irks me as much as like going, this world is so corrupted. It's polluted. The society has polluted itself, and it's got no hope. And the greatest hope that we have is Jesus. It's Jesus. We serve a mighty God. We serve a God who's so good. We live in a society that has no hope. It's got no purpose. It's got no goals. It's a dead society, and dead people walking. That's all they are, is they are dead. And yet we have the greatest gift, and a majority of people have heard it, and a majority of people just reject it. They don't want it. They just want themselves. They want their thing. In Genesis, as we're reading in the story of Noah, God destroyed the world because he said this world is wicked. And I can see how God will look at something like that and go, this world is wicked. But it says, but Noah found grace in the eyes of God, and then God preserved Noah and his sons and Noah's wife and their wives, and they built an ark. And the waters were they were on this ark for a year. Okay, it rained 40 days, 40 nights, but they were on this ark for a year. The water subsided, we know in the story, and God says to and we're going to get to that now, but God will tell Noah, that this time he's not going to destroy the earth with water, the whole earth with water, but this time he's going to destroy it with fire. And we see that by 2 Peter and 2 Peter 3:10, God saying to through the Apostle Peter and the Lord saying it in Matthew 24, that how God is going to return and how this earth will be destroyed and with fire, that God will consume it. Even the book of Jude, of how wicked this world is and how it will be consumed. The world doesn't care about you. The world doesn't care about your family, but God does. God does. Yeah, that's it. It is a woe is me. I mean, that's a sad thing, Deacon Carey, with these people. But and it's sad. You lose someone in such a tragic accident. But to make it the way it is, that's even, I don't know what is, it's sad. But either way, they're in the ark for a year, and God says, He's going to destroy the earth again with fire and all this stuff. But they're on the earth or on the ark for a year, and then it lands, and then everything's set. So let me go ahead and go into Genesis chapter 9 as we continue. Suzanne told me, don't go into review too much. Let's get into it, So I already gave you enough. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. I guess she loves the story. Everyone loves this story. But it says, and God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and the fear of you and the dread upon you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon that moves on the earth, upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. I know that fear is definitely upon us with the fishes, but I haven't seen this part where they are delivered to me. I'm waiting for that part. Maybe that will happen. But God's promises are always yea and amen. So every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb I have given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, you shall not eat. And this is a pretty interesting fact, because God is telling Noah, you can eat whatever you want. Food, herbs, all these things are given to you for food. He said, but here's what I don't want you to eat. I don't want you to eat blood. You shall not eat the blood. Blood is not good. Now, Deacon Carey, just FYI, I know he likes his steaks, what they call blue. Okay, blue. So, blue means like it's pretty much still mooing, But this says, do not eat the blood, and this is a really good reason why we do not eat the blood, because we've known now that a lot of the parasites, diseases, and things like that in animals are usually found in the blood of the animal. And what God is trying to say is, do not drink the blood. Do not eat of the blood. The blood is not healthy. Okay, the blood is not healthy. If this animal has any diseases or sicknesses or whatever it is, it will be in the blood. So we are kind of cautious of that. Okay. And surely your blood of your lives will I require at the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God made he man. Okay, so in other words, just because good EMT can have my steak up graze in 5 minutes, that's right. I don't know what that means, but okay, good. You can have my steak up. Okay. So he says, hey, you kill somebody, you're gonna be required of that, okay? Blood for blood, and you shall be fruitful, multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth.
They can bring it back to life in 5 minutes.
Oh, because a good MET can bring steak up and grazing in 5 minutes. I see. Suzanne talks Karenese sometimes. What that means is that a good EMT, okay, gotcha, can bring your life. Okay, gotcha. Can bring your steak back to life. All right, fantastic. God spoke unto Noah, to his sons, and him, saying, behold, I will establish my covenant with you and your seed and after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, of the beasts of the earth, and from all that goes out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. Okay, so that's the promise. Okay, and God said, this is a token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you in perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and the earth. Okay, what is he talking about? When I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all the flesh of the waters, and no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. Okay, and the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, and I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature and of all the flesh that is upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all the flesh that is upon the earth. Okay, so this is pretty neat because the bow is the rainbow is a covenant that God remembers that He will not destroy the earth with water. When we look at the rainbow, we see a covenant there. We see an agreement. We see the past of how God destroyed the earth because of its wicked generation. We see how God this time will not destroy the whole earth with water because He makes this covenant. But we also see the future, that God's promise would not be to destroy the earth with water, but He will destroy the earth with fire because of the wickedness of man. Okay, so the rainbow has a lot of strong significance to it, and I think it's so funny that the LGBTQ community, their token is the rainbow, which is God's covenant, and they use the rainbow. And I thought, man, that is crazy, because when I think of the rainbow, I think of Noah's Ark, and I think of how God delivered the people from the destruction of the world through the ark. And then I think of the future, and I think of how God will destroy the earth with fire, but how God will save those who are His through the ark, and that ark is Jesus, where Jesus will be the one. He who comes to the Lord will be saved. There's so many symbolisms that occur when Jesus being the ark in the covenant that He has with humanity, with those who believe and trust in Him. Okay. All right, and these are the sons of Noah. They went forth the ark: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham is the father of Canaan. Now, this is very, very important. Ham is the father of Canaan. Okay, and again, that's an important factor, because Canaan, if you remember, they go into the land of Canaan. Okay, so just so you guys understand, that land of Canaan that we'll know later on is where Ham's society dwelt in. Okay, and these are the three sons of Noah, and of them the whole earth was the whole earth overspread. Okay, of them was the whole earth. And what this means is that overspread means populated. Okay, so you're talking about the whole earth overspread, and again, dash and pieces scattered. Okay, from them the whole earth, people throughout the whole earth that was scattered came from them. All right, and Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. Okay, and this word uncovered means nude, revealed or nude. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. Okay, so what happened is, let me give you two ways of looking at this. I'll give you one, I'll give you another. So Noah's naked. Ham sees his father naked, and he goes and tells his brothers. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went in backward and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Okay, I need to make sure there's a couple things, couple ideas that were here. And I'm going to give you three ideas. One is that Ham came in, saw his dad naked, went outside, told Shem and Japheth, I saw dad naked. Okay, and they grabbed their sheets and they went backwards and they covered their father. Okay, and that's one way. All right, and then when Noah woke up, he's like, what happened? What's going on? He finds out that Ham made fun of him, and then he curses his son Ham for seeing his nakedness. One. Two, father's nakedness could be looked at as his wife. Ham, Noah's drunk. His mom, Ham's mom is there, whatever, and Ham ends up having some kind of sexual thing, or maybe he saw his mom's nakedness. Literally, that's father's nakedness is always a connotation meaning some way of like the guy's wife, and he uncovered his nakedness. Okay, all right, so that's another way. And he went and told his brothers, I saw, Noah's wife. She was naked. Blah 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 blah. And next thing you know, Noah wakes up, finds out that Ham did something sexual with his wife or with his mom, her stepmom. I don't know how you see that. Okay, that's two. Third way is Ham walks in, sees his father naked, messes around with his father, some kind of, again, sexual connotation, gets up, leaves, tells his brothers go in, cover his father, and then his father wakes up, figures out what Ham did, and curses Ham. He says, curse you, Ham, how dare you touch me or touch your mom, or how dare you, continue, go on, or act some kind of sexual perversion. Either way, however you look at 1, 2, or 3, I'm not sure about 2 or 3, but let's say 1. Either way, however you see it, whatever Ham did, it was enough for his father to curse him. That's right. It's whatever Ham did to Noah, it was strong enough, or more, it's so offensive that Noah felt like he was going to curse his son and his grandson. He says Canaan is Ham's grandson. So you could imagine this is not just happen right away, okay? Shem, Ham, Japheth, Canaan, and he says, you know what? Your son Ham is going to be cursed, okay? Your grandson and his bloodline will be the servants of Shem, of Japheth and Shem. Not Japheth, Shem's grandchildren, but Shem and Japheth. Whatever Ham did, it was not good. It was not good. I always like throwing a little joke saying, that's why God doesn't want people. That's why God told Israelites to stay away from pork, because He does not like ham. Bad joke, but either way, Ham, and that's why ham pork. Ham was not on the good side. He was cursed, and Ham, when he had Canaan, that whole area was cursed. Okay, remember. What was spoken by Noah about Shem and Japheth actually happened. Because guess what? They took the land of Canaan. Israelites took the land of Canaan. All right? And the Israelites came from the family of Shem. Okay? Shem and his family. Shem is where Abraham comes from. We'll read later on. Comes from Shem. Shem's family has Torah. Torah has Noah. I can't even remember his Abraham's brother's name. And Abraham ends up taking Canaan, or Jacob, Isaac, and then Jacob, and then they take the land of Canaan, and they become. So whatever is spoken here actually happens when Abraham, who comes from the bloodline of Shem, takes Canaan's land. Okay? So you guys see how that's fulfilled? So whatever happened, I don't know what happened. We hear certain things of what happened. We can only assume just by different, sayings of father's nakedness. It could mean different things. Either way, whatever perversion happened, because there's definitely something sexual and something perverted happened there, God or Noah curses Ham, okay, and his grandson. Okay. Any questions there? What about bacon, right? It's only good after it's been very crispy. All right. So, before I get to chapter 10, I just want to make sure any other questions. Haran. Yeah. No, not Haran. Terah. Terah is his father. Lot's father. Lot's father. Starts with an N. I think it starts with an N. But we'll probably talk about it in a second here. Now, I'll let you ask any other questions you have while I go through this. Okay, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog. Now, this is very important. See this word here, Magog? You'll see that in the very end, Magog and Gog and Magog. So just so you guys understand, Japheth went to the east. Japheth, when he left the ark, his family settled east. As a matter of fact, Japheth was responsible for all the Asian communities. Okay, after the Tower of Babel, they were scattered and they go into what do you call it, the east side. Okay. Okay, maybe I'm thinking something else. Maybe I'm thinking Terah's his nephew. That would mean his nephew. Okay, we'll say. Maybe I'm thinking about Lot's father, but we'll go into it. The sons of Japheth were the Gomer, Magog, Medea, Javan, Tubal, and Mishad, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenav, Repha, Tomra, and the sons of Javan. Okay, we're not getting. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families and their nations. And the sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Septa, and Ramah, and Septeka. And the sons of Ramah were Sheba and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one of the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of the kingdom, his kingdom, was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city of Rehoboth, and Calah. So imagine wherever they're at, they're going up north now. Okay, this is north. Remember, Nineveh was a city of Syria. Really tells you how old Nineveh is. Okay, and Rezin begat between Nineveh and Calah, and the same is a great city. And Mizraim began Ludim and Anamim and Lebam and Nephatuhim. And and out of whom came the Philistine. Okay, so Patharusin and Kalusun, out of whom came Philistine. Okay, let me just click that here. Inhabitants of Palestine. Okay, so it tells you how old the Palestinian is. Okay, not Philistine, not Palestinians, Philistines. Okay, there's a big difference between Philistines and Palestinians. Okay. Philistines were the enemies of Israel. Palestinians were the inhabitants of Palestine, which is Jerusalem. In other words, for the Jerusalem area, it was called Palestine. So there's a difference between Philistine, and Palestine. Okay, so don't get them mixed up. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heath. Now this is important because you're going to hear this when you get to Joshua. And even Moses, a little bit of Moses. Okay. Who's Nahor. Who's Nahor? That's the name. Nahor. Nahor. Okay, so that's the name, Nahor. And the Jebusites and the Amorite and the Girgasite. Okay, these are important people. And the Hivite and the Erkite and the Sinite. Okay, these again, all right, these are Canaan. These are people that the Israelites fight against. Okay, the Jebusite, The Jebusites, this is where Jerusalem was inhabited by the Jebusites. When David came in to take over Jerusalem, I'm sorry, David. Was it David? Yeah, I think it was David. When David went to go take Jerusalem, he took it from the Jebusites. Okay? Just so you know there. And the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite, and afterwards were families of the Canaanites spread abroad. Okay, the Canaanites. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, and thus came to Gerar unto Gaza. This is again, Gaza is a city in with the Philistines. Okay? And as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, again came from where? From Canaan, from Ham, Canaan, Sodom and Gomorrah, the Philistines. These are all enemies that came from Ham, from Canaan, Ham. So it really shows you how the pollution, the Philistines and the Sodom and Gomorrah and all these sexual perversion came from the family line of Ham, and how it just polluted the land with sexual promiscuities and perversions and stuff. Really amazing. And Admah and Zibeon unto Lasha. And I really, when I that's Haran's brother. Okay, so Haran's brother is Nahor. Okay, so Haran's brother. Wait, Haran is brother of Abraham. So if Haran's brother is Nahor, then Nahor is Abraham's brother too. And Nahor was the father of Lot. Isn't that true? Haran is a brother in Abraham. And Haran was the father of Lot? That doesn't make sense. Okay, maybe. All right. Gosh, I got to polish up on that. These are the sons of Ham and their families after their tongues and their countries. Unto Shem, also the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even unto him were the children born. The children of Shem was Eliam, Asher, Aphragaz, Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram was Uz. Now this is, again, very, very important. And why I'm telling you this is, a lot of people, they kind of think genealogy is not really important. But genealogy has some form of importance. I feel, when people pass up and they're like, this is too boring, whatever, I don't understand it. It really shows you the bloodline. Shem came from Uz. Now, we hear this story of Uz. Let me see if I can get this. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. And that man was a perfect and upright one that feared God and eschewed evil. Now, this is pretty neat because some people believe that Job was actually written, the story of Job happened before Abraham. And it's got a very good, strong case on that. Because when you look at here, Uz, where'd they go? Okay, all right, that's what I thought. Okay, so I am right. Okay, Nahor was Abraham's brother, and I thought Lot was Nahor's son. I mean, Lot, yeah. You're saying that Haran was Nahor's son? Lot was Haran's son? Father? I thought Nahor and Lot were related. I didn't know Haran was. Okay. Gosh, man. All right. Okay, so Uz, where do we go? Where do they go? Philistine came, Jebusites, Hizite, Hamathite, afterward family Canaanites spread abroad. Okay. These are the sons of Ham after their families and nation. And unto Shem also father of, and the children of, okay, here we go. And the children of Aram was, Uz. Okay, so Lot is Haran's son. It's not Nahor's son. It's Haran's son. Okay. I thought Lot was Nahor's son. So Lot was Haran's son. Okay. They are. I know they were related, but I just got the wrong. But I knew Abraham had a brother named Nahor. So at least I'm cool with that. All right. Back to Uz. Okay. So pretty interesting, right? And so at this point here, we think the story of Job happened between Genesis chapter 10 and Genesis chapter 12, when Abraham is introduced, we think the story of Lot happened in this section here, in this area. Okay, so kind of give you a little kind of insight. All right. And Aphragaz begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber, and Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Phileg, and for in those days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Again, very strong story. This is an Arabian patriarch, because he becomes part of Arabia. Remember, the Middle Easterns, Egyptians, the Middle Easterns, and all that were related to Shem. Shem was not only just the bloodline of what do you call it, of the Jews, but of Arabs too. They were all, the bloodline came from them. Okay, too. So again, very, very important. And Joktan begat Elamod, Shelah, and Hazarmath, and Jerah, and Agdar, and Uzal, and Deglal, and Abal, and Ebiel, and Sheba. Okay, and Ophir, and by the way, Sheba, we've heard this, is Shem, is very important. Solomon marries has a relation with the Queen of Sheba. Okay. Okay, so just so you guys understand this, again, important. Ethiopian queen, Queen of Sheba, that area, right? And Ophir and Hevelah and Jobab, and all these were sons of Joktan. Appropriate. And their dwelling was from Mesha as unto goest unto Sephir, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, their lands, their nations. And these are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, by their nations. And by these were the nations divided in earth after the flood. All right. Pretty cool, huh? I mean, so far, pretty cool, right? I mean, we're really getting a little insight. And what's even really awesome is when we get to, as we were hearing the bloodline of the Israelites, and even how when the Israelites are going through the land and how they're running into relatives. They're talking about the Moabites, the Moabites, the Jebusites, all these people that they run into, the Hittites, the Amorites, and all these guys. These guys are Moses's third, fourth cousins, fifth cousins. So it's not like they're not related. The Moabites are related. The Moabites are the family of of Lot. They are Lot's children by ancestry. So the Moabites who were enemies to the Israelites. So remember, Abraham had Isaac. Isaac had Jacob. Jacob became the Israelites. Okay? Abraham's nephew Lot had a son called Moab, and the Moabites were like second cousins, third cousins to the Israelites. I mean, and how they end up warring with each other. Third cousins, second cousins, fourth cousins. They're related. They're fighting. Okay, really, really interesting. All right. So everyone good with that? I mean, you guys. I don't know if you guys are just as interested as I am. It doesn't matter how many times I read Genesis. I get really I don't want to lose anybody or feel like you're being lost, and I don't want you to, because I just want you to see how there's. If you read this firsthand, like if you're just reading the book of Genesis and you're just reading it, you're like, all right, that's cool. Joktan, Jebusite, you're hearing all these names. You're like, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay? But after you've gone through the Bible several times, and you go back to read the genealogies again, and you're like, okay, now there's a connection. Oh my gosh, this is us from the land of Uz. Joktan. You get excited because you see now all these. Oh, Nineveh's here. Nineveh's over there. Oh, this is where Jonah went. Nineveh's that old. I mean, this is what you're getting. Oh, I see they came from here, and Sheba. Oh, and this. I mean, you get that point where you're like, I can't believe. Oh, the Philistines, Gaza, right there, Gaza. You know, we talk about even Gaza today, the Gaza Strip. You know where the Egyptians are. You know where the Egyptian and Israel, Gaza. They're still fighting over Gaza. You know, I mean, these are like things that are exciting. You know, and you can even go even deeper and get really string that theology or genealogy all the way through, and pull out these guys and say, oh wow, this is where the Gerar. When we hear Gerar in Gaza, this is where what do you call it? Where Goliath came from, the Philistines. Goliath, when King David kills Goliath. All right, Goliath came from Gerar, from Gaza. Okay, so it's a puzzle we may never have all the pieces for. Yeah, I mean, you have to read as you go reading, then you go back and you can read again. You go, oh, okay, I see now. This is coming out. This is coming out. This is coming out. You know, these guys have been around for a long time. So really, really interesting. Really neat. Okay, Genesis chapter 11. I think we'll probably end there. We'll go through chapter 11. It says, the whole earth was one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from east that they found a plain of the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick. That's right, you do. And burn them thoroughly, and they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go, let us build a city with a tower, and let us make us a name, and lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Okay? And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men build. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they all have one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go, let us go down there to confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord, okay, now, I need to make sure someone understands this. These guys, they're all one, and they build this tower, and they're like, let us build a tower. Why? That way we are never destroyed again. Okay, we will never be removed. Okay, I mean, this is their thing. So that let us be scattered upon the face of the whole earth. Okay, I'm sorry. Let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they said, brick for stone and slime for mortar. And they said, Go to and let us build a city and tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. These guys have let's reach up. We want to get to the heavens. Let's build a name for ourselves. This is pretty much, they're building a monument, and with this monument, they're building it for themselves, and they're pretty much getting to a point where they're rejecting God. This is where we see a rejection of God, God's covenant, God's promise. They're turning away from the altars. They're turning away from sacrificing to God. They're trying to get to the top, so that way, why? So there's no flood. No flood will destroy them now, because we're safe. We can go in this tower. We'll never be scattered. We'll never, ever be scattered. This will never happen to us again. And they're doing this, trying to really circumvent what God has promised them and said this. Thanks to the right. And the Lord says, we're going to scatter them. And what he does is he says to them, we're going to give them different languages. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence and unto the face of all the earth, and they left off to build a city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. From thence did the Lord scatter them abroad in the face. Okay? Now, Babel comes confusion. Okay? Confusion. You're just babbling. I don't understand. You're just babbling. Okay? Comes over babble. Why are you boys babbling this? Okay? The word also is Babylon, means Babylonian confusion, but it's the word babble. Okay? It means confusion, speaking, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now, this is, okay, let me see here. This is called Babel, H894, okay? H894. Okay, there we go. Good. Okay, so here's this here again. The Babylonians. So we see Nebuchadnezzar, that while this city is being removed, we see here's Babel. So Babylon. Okay, so they do that. You know, as you guys can see very clearly, that they do abandon this city, but doesn't mean that the city doesn't ever become a mighty city. It does, and God uses it. God ends up using it to chastise the people of Israel. Where is this place at? Okay, so just so you guys understand, this is present day. This is present day Iraq. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can get this. Here we go. The land of Shinar. Okay, and a plain in Babylon. Okay, and I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of go on a wing here, because I think Shinar is copy. Shinar is Babylon. I mean, is Iraq. Let's see if they even have a map of this. You never know. Oh, that ain't gonna happen. Nope. They're like, how do you get to Shinar? All right. Oh, here we go. Shinar is a southern region of Mesopotamia in the Hebrew Bible. Okay, so here we go. Susa. Do I have any map here? Okay, so right here, Sinar or Nineveh. This is Assyria. Okay, Syria, Israel. Okay, Syria, Babylon. Here's Babylon. So this area right here. All right, I think you guys can see it right there. There you go. Let's see if I can. Boom. There you go. Okay. So here we go. This kind of little. This is Iraq. This is Iraq. Okay, so you guys understand Iraq, where Iraq is. Babylon is Iraq. Okay. This is where you have it here. Let me see if I get.
You're frozen, Daddy.
I'm frozen.
Yeah, like the screens are working fine. You're frozen now.
Can I hear it? Can you guys hear it?
We can hear everything. The only thing is your picture is frozen.
Okay. So as long as you guys can hear it. Let me see. That's so weird. There's something wrong. Did I miss something?